Hello everybody! This video is going to cover relations and functions. There's a lot of terminology here, so make sure you understand all of these so it'll make it a little bit easier when doing the work. First is relation. What is a relation? Well, it's any set of ordered pairs. Notice that this is plural, pairs. And then I have an example of an ordered pair here off to the right. Remember that your x-coordinate is written first and the y-coordinate is written second. That's important to know as well. Now, ordered pairs have a domain and a range. The domain is the set of all x values, and the range are the y values. That's why you need to know what they are in the ordered pairs. So again, a relation is a set of ordered pairs. The domain of a relation are the x values, and the range are the y values. So I have an example here of a relation. I have a set of ordered pairs. If I wanted to write the domain, then I would look at what each of the x values are, and I would write those down. So I'm going to write down 0, 2, 3, and 5. Now, same thing for the range. If I want to write down the range, I'm going to write down 1, 2, 2, 1, 4, 7, 4. Now, the thing is, we only write 4 once. There's no reason to write it a second time because we want to say what are all the y values. Y listed twice. It's one of the y values. Okay. We could write this in a table as well. So if I say in a table, let me demonstrate what that would look like. X, Y, and then I'll go down like this. And I'll put my domain then on the left. I have 0, 2, 3, 5, and my range 1, 4, 7. Now it's also important to note that tables can also be written horizontally. Okay? I want you to know that because you'll see them both ways, vertically and horizontally. I don't want you to think that it means something different because it doesn't. All right. Let's move on to functions. So that's what a relation is. Now, a function is a relation. But it's specific because each member of the domain, meaning the x values, associates with only one member of the range. Now, the easiest way to kind of show this is with a sample. So here I have another relation. And if you want to determine if it's a function, you can use a mapping diagram. The way a mapping diagram works is you take your domain. So I have -1 here. I have 2, 3, 3, 4. But again, I only have to write the 3 once. 2, 3, 4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this. Don't know why it's circled. That's just the way we do it. And then I'm going to write the range over here. I have 0, 1, 2, 5. And again, I noticed that one of the things I probably should have mentioned here too, we like to list these things in numeric order, okay? So if you're wondering why I put 0 first, even though the first one here was a 1, that's why. I'm putting them in numeric order. And then what you do, you say, all right, well, if I went to my first ordered pair here, -1 and 1 go together. So I would come from -1 in the x and put an arrow pointing to 1 in the y. Then I go to my next one. 2 is with 0. My next ordered pair, 3 is with 1. Then my next one, 3 is with 2. Uh-oh. And then my last one, 4 is with 5. Okay? So when you look at this, you would say, well, this relation is not a function because 3 is associating with 1 and 3 is associating with 2. Now, that becomes kind of hard to remember. So if you think of your x's and your y's as boys and girls, and they're dating, right? They're in a relationship. In order for this relationship to function, each boy can only associate with one girl. If a boy, this one right here, associates with more than one girl, then this relationship does not function. I think that's kind of a good way to remember it. It's just a little trick, okay? Now, I know some people say, well, what about girls? Can they go with multiple guys? Well, let's not go down that road. That's just a way to remember relations and functions, okay? Boys and girls. All right, another way to do this is from a graph. Here I have a graph of points, and I have the domain and the range written down. Again, it's just your x and y values. Notice that for the range, I wrote -2 and 3. I didn't have to write it multiple times because those are the only two y values that are here. So what you could do is a vertical line test. Now, what we've done before is our mapping. So let me do the mapping real quick. I have -4, -1, 0, 2, 3, and then I have -2, and I have 3. And I'll circle them. Again, not sure exactly why. And then when you look at the points, -4, this goes to -2. And then our next one, -1, goes to -2. And then 0 goes to a +3. And then we go out to 2 goes to -2. And then 3 goes to 3. Now, this, if you looked at the mapping diagram, again, X and Y, or you think of boys and girls, each boy is associating with only one girl, so it works, right? It is a function. But now the vertical line test says, well, if you have a graph, you don't actually have to do the mapping diagram. What you could do is you could take a horizontal line. What I usually do is tell students, why don't you take your pencil? So here's your pencil. This is my pencil. Okay. And then don't forget the eraser down at the bottom. I know some of you guys are going to be critical of my drawing, but there. And if you were to take this vertical line and go across the page like this, with it staying straight up, that's why it says vertical, and as this pencil goes across the graph, as long as you don't have one point, or it doesn't cross 2 points at the same time, then it is a function. So in other words, I drag the pencil across, it comes here, it hits only that 1 point. It comes here, it hits only that 1 point. Here, only 1 point. Here, only 1 point. Here, only 1 point. Each time as the pencil went across the page, or the vertical line went across the page, it only hit 1 point at a time. So it means that this relation is a function. Now let me give you one then where it doesn't work. Okay? Here, again, without actually doing the mapping diagram, if you were to look at it, you would say, well, right here, you know it's not a function because it failed the vertical line test. So here, there's your vertical line. It crosses 2 points at once, so this is not a function. Okay, well, that's all, my friends. Goodbye.